Alright guys, welcome back. So on this episode we're going to be doing a special review. This has been requested a few times. So we're going to see if they can come back from the dead. This is going to be the corpse series, and we're going to go through all the corpse weapons. We're going to see what they can do. We're going to take them to the Wastelands and give them a test. We're going to be doing the same scenario that we always do. We're going to go down with a basic implant setup that would be similar to a new or starting player. Very little boost. We're going to check the EXP an hour, the tracker up here at the top left, and we're going to reset it after each update. So we'll take a weapon, we'll test it out for several rounds, get a couple updates and see kind of where the DPS lands, and then we'll mark that down, and then we will proceed on with the next item. And at the end of the series here, we're going to see exactly where we stand, guys. So these are corpse weapons. They are extremely old. They're kind of a collector's thing now. They are expensive, and that's more or less just for their looks, because they look just badass. But you can't get them anymore. So they're like 200 million, 300 million, 100 million. They're just very expensive weapons. They're not in game, but I know they've been kind of changed a little bit, so we're going to see how they hold up. So what we're going to do is head down to the Wastelands, and then we're going to begin our trials. So before we begin, I just want to say, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I appreciate you guys watching. And if you guys have not, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and helps me, helps the channel, and it helps Dead Frontier grow. So love seeing you guys. We're almost to 1,000 viewers, and without further ado, let's get down to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause this like normal. I'm going to run all the way down here to the Wastelands, get set up, and then I will be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Alright guys, so we are now back, and we are at the Wasteland. So before we enter the section, we are going to be running with 0% damage boost, so there's going to be absolutely no damage boost going on. We do have an EXP boost from the Christmas event, and then some from the implants, but this setup again is going to be extremely similar to a new player starting the game. Again, they wouldn't have all these boosts, so I don't want to do that. And I know some of you guys have said please use boost, some of you have said don't. We did do a poll on our Discord channel, and if you haven't joined that, the link's in the descriptions below. It's free to join. But anyway, we did a post on that, and the majority of people said they'd prefer me not to use boosts. It just gives a better look at items and their actual core value. So that's why we do it that way. Now again, I could put on implants, and that would change things up quite a bit. But most players can't afford to spend, $700 million on implants. So I think it is best to kind of keep it as generic as possible and go that route. So we'll start our grind, and we're going to start with the corpse piercer and the corpse ripper. And again, what we'll do is do a few rounds, get some aggro going, check out our EXP, write it down, and then move on to the next item. So before we start, I'm trying to find a good spot for my circle here. Trying to get started. Alright, so we're at 4 million EXP. This is the corpse piercer. And a lot of the corpse weapons actually are not 120 level required, or even 130. So these are like level 100, 110 items. There might be a 120 in there, but these items are very old. So they're not made for the new areas, really. They're made for, they're collector's items. I mean, that's just what they are. They're still good, but they're just not up to par as a new item would be. But I would say their looks are extremely good. So again, we're just trying to get some aggro, see what our EXP goes up to. We're at 9.8 million. I would not be down here grinding with this, though. This is not a grinding weapon. I would say if you're going to get a corpse piercer, this is more of a looting rifle. We are hitting for 262 damage with crits, which most of the enemies at Synchronon Bunker have 250 health. So for looting at Synchronon Bunker or any zone like that, this would work out perfect. But down here, just for grinding, obviously this is not what you want to be doing. We're going to give it one more update, but I do not expect this. This is not a grinding weapon, guys. So we're going to call it 12 million. So let me reset our counter here and write down our 12 million EXP. So this is the Corpse Piercer. And it was 12 million. All right, so now we're going to reset this. And if a lot of you guys were asking, to get this EXP and hour counter, go to Dead Frontier General, like the forums, general discussions, and there's a forum post that says Dead Frontier XP and hour tracker or something like that. Just find that post. It was on like the second or third page, and then you can just download it. So heads up on that. So all right, let's go ahead and move to the Corpse Ripper. Now this one I expect to be doing a little better. This is more of a, I would say, grinding weapon, but again, these items are older. You know, they're not specifically made for this anymore. They're just kind of collector's items, but we'll see what they can do. I still think they're really solid weapons. I just know there's better weapons out there. So 1.5 million, but again, first update never matters. If you guys didn't watch our previous reviews, we've done a lot of these tests. Gave you guys some really good ideas for weapons and what they can actually do. So check out those videos if you guys have not seen those in the past. Uh-oh. Ooh, close, guys. So I'm saying, you got to find a good spot down here at the Wastelands. It's hard until you find like an area that you can get used to that's kind of open. $9.7. And they're only hitting for 55 per bullet, but it is a machine gun, so that's okay. And you know, with our other tests, a lot of guns were getting 30 to 50 million. But again, those were actual like grinding top tier in-game items. These are not for that. So 10.5. Again, a Synchronon bunker. These are going to be perfect. $11.1, so it's already slowing down. We're going to go ahead and call it at 12 as well. You're not going to get a lot of experience from this, guys. So let's go ahead and pause. Let's switch weapons. Oops. Let's go ahead and pause this. Let me switch weapons and reset the counter. I'll be right back. Hang on 2 seconds. My dog's barking too, so be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had a Amazon delivery. You know, you guys all know how important that is. So, all right, so that was the Corpse Ripper. And again, that was 12 million. I'm writing it down. All right, let's go ahead and swap out. And let me close Steam just so I don't get pop-ups. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so that was the Corpse Piercer we've completed. And we also completed the Corpse Ripper. We're going to try the Corpse Blaster and the Corpse Erupter. So the Corpse Blaster is a shotgun and the Corpse Erupter is a grenade launcher. All right, so we're going to do the Corpse Blaster first. EXP is reset. See how this does. You know, I did think that we would get more than 12 million on the Corpse Ripper. I was thinking that would be like 20s, 30s. But I guess not. So we're up to 7.6. And again, these items, guys, all the corpse weapons are specifically really cosmetics. I mean, they're good items, but obviously you can see they are not the same tier as what we've been reviewing. $11.3K, or 11.3 mil, I should say. $12.6, so doing a little better with the shotgun over the Ripper. We're going to do another update since that was over 1 million. But you can see that the enemies aren't dying from the shotgun. But that's just because it doesn't have enough damage to kill them. So we're at 12.6. $13.4. We'll do another update because it was just under 1 million update. So we're at 13.4 for the shotgun, the corpse blaster. And once the EXP average starts dropping, that's when I'll swap weapons. $13.4. Let's see what happens here. $13.7. So we'll say it'll top out probably around 14. So let's go ahead and pause this. We're going to call it 14 mil. And that was the corpse blaster. And again, I'm writing this down, so just bear with me. 14 million. And then the next one is going to be the erupter. And this is the grenade launcher. Alright. So let's test out the grenade launcher. And again, I would imagine that this would be probably... It may be the best one that we get to review, because grenade launchers in general do better with grinding, because that's what they're meant for, right? So I can already see it's got an extremely high rate of fire. Oh, you know what we forgot to do, guys? We forgot to reset our counter. We got to keep it accurate, so let me reset this. F5. Info. Reset values. Okay, apply. Alright, we are good. Close this. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Alright, now let's see what happens here. We have no updates yet. 22, look at that. So you can obviously tell grenade launchers they're just better at grinding. Now, the bad thing about grenade launchers, I don't like them, just because I don't feel safe using them. I'm not saying they're not safe, but I prefer guns with knockback, shotguns, miniguns, anything like that. I'm not a grenade guy, but a lot of people are, and they do very well. 25. Kind of impressive. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. $25.7. See what happens here. $26.5. Starting to slow down already. Less than 1 million update. It's still our top corpse weapon though, for sure. And again, if this is something you're interested in, these guns, you know what I mean, they're amazing. They're a piece of history. You know, they look badass. And the cosmetic skins are just so cool. But, you know, if you're looking for like in-game like items, this is not what it's for. But if you want to be a collector and just look badass and say you have a piece of history of Dead Frontier, pick one up, guys, because you can't get them anymore. So 26.7. See what happens here. So we're going to call it a 27. We're going to go ahead and write this down, so hang on. So that was the blaster, or I'm sorry, that was the erupter. 27 mil. And now we have to switch weapons. Let's put on the, let's take these off. Let's put on the corpse destroyer. I think this one will do very well. Again, I have no idea, but that's just my guess. And we'll put on the corpse shooter, okay? So we're going to go for the destroyer, which is a machine gun. And I'm going to write this down. Alright, and then the next will be a blaster, the corpse shooter. And the shooter is a pistol, I believe. Yes, handgun. Alright, so let's go ahead and reset info, reset values. Okay, go back to the game. Alright guys, here we go. So, corpse destroyer. This is one, I used to actually run this gun for a long time back in the day. You know, I used to play years and years and years ago as well. Back in school, man, back, I don't even know what year, 2006 maybe, I don't know, actually probably before that. But I lost that account. I don't even remember the name of it. But I believe this is what I was running, was a corpse destroyer. So let's see what... I remember getting the ace barrel when that was like amazing. Alright, 15 mil, first update. But again, you guys, we all know the first update is never as it seems. So let's go ahead and keep going here. I like the sound of the corpse destroyer. I like the looks of it. It's actually not a bad grinding weapon. I mean, look at this. The knockback's pretty good. Uh-oh. Whew, I got stuck, guys. 17.6. I don't know if it'll beat a grenade launcher, though, to be honest. It is a machine gun, but still. $18.6, so a million update, not bad, but you can tell that these guns, guys, they're just not made for in-game. But again, that's really wasn't their purpose when they were made. Maybe they should get a buff. I don't know. I don't really know if they should, just because they're a collector item and it's not something everybody can get. There's only so many of them, and it's been so long. So I think they are for the past, but I think they're just badass. Again, they're just cool cosmetics, a piece of history, and people like to see how they perform, you know. 19.4. Let's do another one. See if we can get another million EXP update. We're at 19.4. 19.8, so we're going to call it 20, guys. We're going to call it 20 for the corpse destroyer. Alright, now we're going to move on to the corpse shooter. Let me get some aggro. Okay. Oh, guys, we got to reset. We got to reset. Let's reset our stats here. It's hard to remember that. Okay. Alright. Here we go. I'm just doing this to kind of get some aggro going. Now we're going to switch to the pistol. First update doesn't matter. Now this, I think, will be extremely low. Again, we all know that this is not what this gun is for. It is not for down here grinding. It is a looting weapon. But we're going to do it just to see kind of what we're looking like. Again, when you guys are looking at these items, you got to look at them as what are they actually used for? You know what I mean? And this is not what this gun's for. Alright, so 7.4 mil for the first update. Obviously, I think it'll be a little higher after the second update, but we're not going to get into the 20s and 30s. And then this is with no boost. This is just plain Jane, guys. Just like we do our other videos. Keep it simple. Just see at the core value, what do these do? So 9.8. So not a bad update. 2 million. Again, we're hitting for 126. Okay, so 10.2. We'll do one more update and we'll call it. But yeah, 10 million it looks like is going to be kind of around. But we'll go ahead and do one more lap. $10.3. So we're going to call it 10.3. And we're going to reset. Info, reset values. Okay. 10.3. Let's go ahead and go to our inventory. Now we have a couple interesting ones and a couple dangerous ones, actually. We have the corpse grinder, which is the saw. And we have the corpse crusher, which is a melee hammer. And again, guys, when you're looking at these, look at this. 110 rifle, 105 machine gun, 100 shotgun, 110 explosives, a 110 pistol, a 110 machine gun, 110, 110. So you can tell these aren't, you know, in game. They're not 120s, 130s, 135s. They're none of that. Oh, hold on. Get back in my groove here. All right, so we are at 10,100,000. Again, we need our updates here. I don't expect a lot out of this. It's really hard to come down to the Wastelands and, you know, gauge a chainsaw. So 6.5. You know, you gotta be a crazy ass to do something like this, right? Because if I die, I lose my like 1.8 billion, you know, EXP streak that I'm on, or whatever it is. 3 billion. I don't even know what it's at this point. But that's okay. We like that. So 1.6 or 7.6 or 7.4. It was 6 point something. So 7.4 update. We're going to keep going. Gotta watch out for those guys. And again, if you guys come down to the Wastelands, bring speed. Speed is what makes the Wastelands easy. You know, if you don't have speed, it's very difficult. 8.2. So probably like 9. And again, if you get like a tight circle like that, you're going to get more experience. It's just reckless, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, doing what I'm doing is honestly probably not the smartest idea. You're asking to die. Definitely use knockback. Definitely use, you know, a grinding weapon if you're down here. I'm just trying to see damage-wise. Like, okay, so 8.6. We're going to be nice, and we're going to call it 9. Let me open the menu here and save this. Alright. So 9 million for the corpse grinder. All right, so now we're going to reset, and we're going to go to the corpse crusher. So reset values, apply, close. All right, corpse crusher. Let me get some aggro. All right, now we're going to just hammer time. So I'm curious. 250, 250, so this would be good in Synchronom. Again, most enemies have 250 health. So you're going to kill everything in, one hit, which is very nice. That's when I'm going melee or anything like that. Or it doesn't matter what I do. My looting weapon, I prefer to kill in one hit. So that's kind of my goal. And if you guys don't know, like when you have a weapon, you can look and see how much more damage boost you need. Just do some basic math. And most enemies at Synchronom have 250 health. Go to the DF wiki. Look up the enemies that whatever area you're looting in, the chem plant, southeast zone, doesn't matter. Look up those enemies in bestiary in the wiki. See how much health they generally have, and then do some math with your items and see, okay, how much more damage do I need to one-shot these guys? And that'll make your life way easier, I promise. So we're at 9.1 mil with the hammer. $9.2. So yeah, it's not gonna. But again, who would come down here and do this, right? You have to be a crazy ass. Well, I'm doing it. But yeah, no one's gonna actually do this with the hammer. But again, it's just to kind of see the damage per second you're getting. No one's going to use this down here, especially after this video. We'll do one more update with the hammer. $9.5. So we'll be very nice to our corpse gear here, and we're going to put 10 million because we're friendly. So 10 million for the corpse crusher. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run back and we're going to talk about value. All right, so just hang tight. All right, guys, so we are back at the outpost. So 2 other items I want to show you that are not weapons. They are just to finish the corpse set. So you have the corpse carapace, whoever you said that. And this is the body armor. It has 500 armor. It has 50% damage absorption. Reduces enemy detection radius by 20%. Reduces enemy sight by 20%. And it gives you 5% movement speed. So overall, very, it's good. It's a light armor. It doesn't take strength. It does give you some movement speed. But we'll talk about the price. But this is what it looks like with it on. And let me go to this and show you my armor. So again, cosmetic, right? This is what this set's for. It's cosmetics. So here's my parasitic husk. Wow. Look at that. Boom. So yes, very cool. Corpse carapace is really awesome. And then we have the corpse mask. So again, really cool. Definitely a whole different look. But very cool. But that's the whole set. So you got the corpse shooter, corpse piercer, corpse crusher, corpse blaster, corpse erupter, corpse grinder, corpse ripper, corpse destroyer, corpse carapace, and then the corpse mask. So that's the whole corpse setup. And now we're going to talk about price, and I'm going to flashbang you. Be ready? Big white screen. Okay. So damage-wise, the corpse erupter took first place with 27 million damage. The corpse destroyer was next with 20 million. And then the corpse blaster took next, third place for 14 million. That was the shotgun. Then coming in is the corpse ripper, the submachine gun, for 12 million. And it looks like corpse piercer tied that for 12 million. And then we go on to the corpse shooter, and then corpse grinder. And money wise, the corpse shooter is 69 million. So these are in millions over here. So 69 million for the corpse shooter, 197 million for the corpse blaster, 88 million for the crusher, 168 million for the piercer, 65 million for the erupter, 140 million for the grinder, 385 million for the ripper, guys. 49 million for the destroyer. When you get down here to the cosmetics, the mask is 274 million, and you can get the armor, the corpse carapace, for 310 million. If you want to buy the whole set, it's going to set you back 1.745 million. So 1.7 billion is what that total would be if you were to go to the marketplace right now and you were to buy the cheapest of each piece. So again, just type in corpse and you go through and you buy the blaster and the carapace and all the parts. You're going to end up having 1.7 billion invested in this. So again, pretty cool review. Definitely not worth the money if you're going for damage, but if you're going for a collector's item, it is what it is. That's for a whole new reason, right? So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the video. Are these weapons worth dying for? I don't know, but they are badass, right? So anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you thought. Leave a comment below. Join our Discord. Please hit the subscribe button if you guys like these videos. I'll keep this content coming out to you guys. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.